Welcome guys. Today's video finds us over here on the Irrawaddy River, and we're gonna jump on a little boat and we're gonna go down to, I think it's called Mingun, I think is how you say it. And we're gonna look at kind of a cool building that is, it's an unfinished temple that's been hit with an earthquake and everything else. So we're gonna go check it out. So let's see what I see. So you can see up here, here is the huge Irrawaddy River. And we're gonna go down this precarious little slope that might be kind of fun if it was rainy and slick. And we're gonna jump on this boat. You can see lots of people have kind of built little shacks and stuff like that here on the riverbank. You got clothes drying, stuff like that. So let's walk the plank in. They hold this little piece of bamboo so you can use it to not fall in the river. Woman's down here washing her clothes, and then more people up there washing their clothes. Come down here, you can really get a sense of the extreme poverty. Now there's 55 million people-ish in Myanmar, and I was just reading that about half of them are in poverty. Here's where the boat captain's gonna sit. He's got a Toyota steering wheel and a seat out of a van. Got some flowers and a little water for like the little blessing. Now on like the Thai boats up on the helm, they'll have the yellow flowers and stuff, but it doesn't look like it on this boat. The guy pushes this off and here we go. So the ladies, you see, they'll have this white powder on their face, and it's like actually from the tree bark. They have a stone and they take like a piece of wood and they put some water on the stone and then they grind that bark off and they use it as kind of a natural cosmetic. Yeah, this is quite nice. This river is just absolutely massive. Now the Irrawaddy is so important to the central Myanmar. It's a nice wide river, so they can float down, and then the breezes come from the south. So it's actually, back in the old days, they could erect a little sail and they could easily go from the south back to the north. And this was a huge important thing during, especially during like the Mingun Kingdom. You can see the shoreline here. Kids floating around in little tubes. And over here they have all the equipment there. So they're getting their sand and gravel for concrete over here. You can see they're just, there's a lot of trash, everything else all around. Kind of the whole area here is just basically littered with rubbish. And here's our boat captain and his lady assistant, probably his wife. They got some guys out here. Now, I don't know if you can see it on the camera very well, but what they do here is they steer with their foot. So they stand up on one leg and they steer their little boats with their foot like that. Kind of interesting. And then you can see some people over there carrying a huge basket on the head. The women will walk around with these baskets up on their head, and it's they got like a little cushion, and then they carry that huge load up there. Kind of interesting looking little barge. So you got a huge diesel engine up there. I wonder what they're hauling. I wonder if they're hauling fuel or what. You can see how the river has eroded this down here. It's kind of interesting. You can see temples and stuff like that over the riverbank. People riding their motorcycles up there, all kinds of stuff. Check that out. So he's got his motorcycle. He's got some wood there and he's banging around. Oh, that's great. So he jammed all that wood down into a hole and he stalled out the motorcycle. So now the back guy is pushing to try to get it started again. Oh, it sounds like he might have it going. So over here they have the houses built up on stilts for when the Irrawaddy floods. You can see a little boat here. So they're hauling some sand. So the lady's smoothing the sand out in the boat. You got the girl up in the front, and then the man's driving it. Not sure if this is like a little fishing boat or what this is, or if it's just a passenger ferry. So it looks like it's a passenger ferry. Got a motorcycle strapped to the front, and a bunch of people in the middle. You can see a little town over there, and it looks like a small little jetty. I think that's a temple. Now you do see a lot of chetties just around people's houses. And what they do is if somebody dies and has some money, they build a little chetty. And I think inside they put like valuable things like jewelry and things like that inside of the little chetties. You can see how humongous this Irrawaddy River is. Now this looks nothing like I envisioned Myanmar to look like at all. Now it's kind of interesting with the name. It used to be known around the world as Burma, but the government changed the official name to Myanmar a few decades back. Now the British chose Burma because that was actually what the people, the common people, called the country. Myanmar is kind of like the fancy, like a more formal way of saying it. So the people that live here, they actually do use both. They use Burma and Myanmar, but Myanmar is like the really polite, really formal way of saying it. So they got it all loaded down, and the guy's bailing everything out. The guy up top steering the boat with his foot, you can see there. They're all wearing the old style hats. You can see over here the thatch roof houses. They got some cows, stuff like that. And then they have their boats and everything anchored out here on the shoreline. So we got some of the locals out here fishing in the Irrawaddy. Now this river is actually really, really shallow right now. I guess during the peak of the rainy season, it'll raise up as much as 10 meters. So there is where we're headed. We're still a long ways off and we can see it. It is a massive pile of bricks. Now it's only 50 meters tall right now. And it was one of the kings, King Bodawpaya or something like that. He's the one that ordered it to be built. And he wanted it to be bigger than any chetty in the world. He wanted it to be bigger than the Mingun Pahtodawgyi Chetty in Thailand. And he wanted this to be 156 meters tall. You can see there's other chetties and stuff like that here in this area. Now this was never completed because there was a prophecy that if it was finished, that the king would disappear or die, or Burma at the time would be destroyed. So they started building it really, really slow, and it's just now sitting here as it is. It's kind of interesting. So they have a boat pulling like a wooden raft. They'll haul that wood down. It's like teak wood, and they'll haul it down to the market. So we're getting really close. So there's that Mingun Pagoda. You can see the white one next to it, and then there's just little chetties, everything else, all in this area. And then way, way up on the hill, I don't know if you can see that there's a chetty way up on the top of that hill that looks like the Wat Maha Bodhi, the one that's in India. And then there's chetties on the little road all the way up there. And it's kind of strange that they built this out here. This must have been a really important part of the kingdom at the time whenever this was built. And they stopped building it in, I believe, 1879. And there was, they say what I was reading is like 50,000 slaves were building it, and whenever they stopped, they all fled away and they joined like rebel forces to fight against the British-led government. I could be wrong about that. It's kind of hard, some of it, it's lost in translation a bit. All right, so we're getting pretty close. Looks like up there, that's where the little dock will be. Then I guess we'll take like a little tuk-tuk thing over to the temple. I didn't know it before, but there's another temple right there next to it. That's you can see the base with the white and the little gold chetty on the top. Yes, we're almost there. Right here, I thought this was pretty funny. There's like 6 kids swimming around in the water, and then Dad's over there cutting some of those logs with a machete. And then there's their little shack. I don't know if they stay in that all the time or if it's just during the day. You got a motorcycle up under there, and then up here, oh, we got some more kids. These kids are pretty animated. Shouting about something. She's tying off the anchor. And these kids, I think what they are is they collect money for the anchorage, maybe. All right, let's go down. And so we stopped, so these little boys are going to climb up on the side of the boat. I don't know what the heck's going on here. Hello. All these kids. And then they stick that piece of wood there, the bamboo, so that you can get off the boat. Yeah, so they all came over to sell knickknacks, jewelry, fans, stuff like that. So here's some of the fans you can buy. And here's some of their houses up here on the riverbank. It's quite warm. It'll be about 40 degrees today. Mingun Buddhist Infirmary. So you got these ladies selling the clothes. Some of the little lions. All right, so here's our little tuk-tuk that we're gonna take. Let's check this out right quick. So I have an old SNFP, I guess. And it's super nigh fan power. All right, here we go. So we stopped and we got just tons of people are hanging on here. This is kind of funny. We even got kids hanging on the side of the little thing. They're having the best time. All right, so here we are at this jetty. Now you can see right over here, there's this massive, massive crack that happened from an earthquake. So they just stopped building it in 1879, and it's just been sitting like that ever since. And what you can see here is 50 meters, and it would have been over 150 meters tall if they've ever finished it. Now there are some monks up here ringing the bell, doing some things. Now they're wanting to sell you some stuff. There's a lot of people here. And then they have some more stalls and everything over there. So next to the jetty, they have a little restaurant here. So they have some of the shrimp cakes, coconuts, and then over here they have a little Honda generator making, processing the sugar cane. So they make the sweet juice. We have guides, we have people trying to fan us, everything else. So let's go up here and let's look inside of this part of the jetty. So you can see here, they used to have the little wall around it. It's kind of sloughing off. Same as up here. This wall is completely collapsed down. And over here is some more of the rubble. So the base is not very stable either. So it's hard to say how long this will still be up here. So you can come over here and ring the bell. So the archway is just massive. The wooden beam's kind of a kilter. We got some monks going in and all these people just kind of hanging out. So we have some of the monks coming over. And this is the Buddha image that's right here. So the inside of the jetty is blocked off, obviously, because the huge cracks and the poorer condition it's in. So they leave these little flowers, same as Thailand, but they don't have the orange ones here. It's kind of an interesting pose with the hand across the chest. And you can see up there, it's how it was built. That crack right there is just absolutely massive. You can see a smaller crack over there, and then cracked up above that, and then over here. So the side over here is completely sloughed off. So you can see how it looks from the side over here. Would have been pretty impressive. I'm 150 plus meters tall. Then the Kompatom jetty is just absolutely colossal also. And if it would have been bigger than that. Now this looks like they would have had maybe like a crocodile or alligator or something. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe it's one of the lions with a long nose. Then you can see the styling of the base, how it would have been. So I think this is like 250 meters by 250 meters at the base. Can't remember exactly the size, but it's gigantic. Yeah, you can see the absolute poor condition this is in. So right above the arch, I'm not sure if that would have been one of those little mythical birds, but whatever it is, it's falling apart the same as everything else here. They have a little shrine inside of there. All right, there'll be a gate up there, but let's walk up those stairs and see what the view looks like a little bit. It'll be quite a little hike here in this heat, but it's all right. So you can see the parts of this pagoda that is sloughed off. You see that right there? It's about to come down, it looks like. And here's the gate. There's the old stairs that go all the way to the top, but now it's locked up. Let's take a look. Wow, pretty nice view from up here. So there's a little chetty over there, the Irrawaddy River. You see people have wrote graffiti on these bricks. Billions of bricks, it seems like. At least several million. Wonder how many they actually put into this, just the base. Let's go back down and let's go look at that little lion that was right over there. People have stuck the joe sticks in those rocks. Yeah, what a colossal undertaking that just was abandoned. So right next to that big pagoda is this great lion. So this is the back side of it. You can see the plaster work and stuff that's still remaining. And the front of it is all pretty much sloughed off. This would have been fantastic. See what little remains of it. Now there's grass and stuff growing up there. They got chickens over there. Here's the teeth of the lion. They've stuck them up there on there. And then this looks like maybe the eye. And then the rest is strewn about. And we got a goat over here, a couple of them grazing. You can see this is maybe the head over here. A little bit of the plaster works down there on the bottom. Now it's just a place for the goats to graze around. You got some more of the debris here and out here. So this would have been maybe a second one over here. And it's in worse shape than the other one. Got some kids over here doing some stuff. Kids is in children, not the kids is in the baby goats. And you can see one of the legs. Next to that, they're selling this little wood. This is what they scrape the bark off of for that powder for their face. They put it on that little stone and then they grind it off and then they can stick the powder on their cheeks. And hats and souvenirs and all of that. All right guys, so that's gonna finish up our video over here. The river cruise on the Irrawaddy over here to this pagoda was a lot of fun. The pagoda is pretty interesting. It's just really a crying shame that it's just falling apart. I mean, but what can you do? There's not any money to fix it up, plus it's just a colossal undertaking. The earthquake did some severe damage to it, so at this point it's just beyond repair. The foundation isn't stable anyway. It would take basically tearing it all the way down and rebuilding it, and there just isn't any money for that because this is just massive. But anyway, it was interesting to see. I've enjoyed it. I liked the river cruise the most. That was kind of fun seeing how they live along the river. Getting here, we're kind of attacked by so many of these kids wanting to sell you some stuff, but it's just the way it is. They're trying to make a little bit of money, and there's a lot of poverty here, so they're doing what they can do to survive. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you smash like and subscribe to my channel if you're new here. This is what I do. I show you things I see, tell you a little bit about what I know. So hopefully you enjoyed this. And leave me a comment if you've been here or if you want to come. If you have any questions, ask me down below and I'll do my best to answer them. So from over here near Mandalay, remember guys, life is a journey. Today's journey brought us to Myanmar. So until next time, enjoy guys.